Hey everybody, so Life Lesson Friday for September 8th, 2023. Ask if you want help. And the reason that's the life lesson is because I was at a cross country meet yesterday. Several of my athletes that I've trained were competing. One that I haven't seen in a couple of weeks didn't do so well and didn't do as well as she wanted to. And after the race, so I asked her, I said, hey, what have y'all been doing in practice? And she told me, and I was like, oh. It's like, do you think that's enough? And she was like, oh, no, I know it's not enough. I was like, oh. Do you think you should have asked me for some advice and some help to maybe do some other stuff? Yeah, I probably should have done that. It's like, okay. So the issue becomes there are people out there that can help you, whatever part of life you're in, right? There's people in your job. I've come across this both as an employee and an employer, both as the worker and as the manager. There are people out there that can help you succeed and can help you get to your goals, but they don't know you need help unless you tell them. They don't know that you need help unless you ask. It's okay to ask. Most of the time, when I've asked for help, people have said, oh, yeah, be glad to help you. Now, sometimes that costs money. Sometimes, if it's at work and it's your boss and you say, hey, I need help, a lot of times they're going to say, okay, what can I do to help? It doesn't cost you any money. It costs you time. It costs you a little bit of pride, right? Because you're prideful and you're like, oh, I want to be able to do this myself. I want to be able to prove that I'm capable and all those things. But at the end of the day, most of the time, if they're a good manager and a good boss, if it's a one-time thing or an every so often thing, they're not going to hold it against you. They want the job done, right? If you're having to ask for help every time, well, yeah, they might go, okay, do I have the right person in the right job? But if it's just a one-off thing, go ask for help. Don't be scared. Because they want you to succeed. The person that you ask for help wants you to succeed. I want my athletes to succeed. I want the people that I coach for nutrition to succeed. I want anybody that I come in contact with to succeed. But I don't know if you need help unless you ask me. I can assume that you need help, but I don't know that you need help unless you ask and you say, hey, I need help. Just like the people that I work with to help me with different things in my life, they don't know if I need help unless I ask for help, right? We can all assume, but assuming is not ever good. And asking for help is an important piece of growing up. It's an important piece of understanding that, guess what? You don't know it all. I don't know it all. Nobody knows it all. It's great that we have this device called a phone that has like just trillions and trillions and trillions of pieces of information in it that we can get in a heartbeat. So we can find answers for things. But a lot of times, we don't know if that's the answer to our problem until we truly ask somebody who's been there, somebody who's coached us through it, somebody who's managed us through it, somebody who understands what the process is that we're trying to achieve. So asking for help is a key piece to getting to where you want to be quicker. It's a key piece. How do you learn how to make more money? You go ask somebody who's done it in your field or your area of expertise, right? Like, you ask somebody who's been there, how do I get there? You know? And so it's asking for help is a huge piece of life that a lot of us are, and I say me too, a lot of us are too stubborn too prideful, think we know too much to be able to stop and say, wait a minute, what if I just ask for help? Is that the shortcut that I'm missing to getting this done? So that's the life lesson for today. Don't forget that you need to ask for help. Don't forget to, do the work yourself, right? You got to do the work yourself. Nobody can do it for you, but you've got to ask for help along the way to make sure that you're on the right path, to make sure that you're doing the right things, to make sure that you're not missing anything, right? This athlete knew she was missing stuff. She didn't know what she was missing. She knew she was missing stuff, but she was really, honestly, like, she was too prideful and too lazy's the wrong word, but she really didn't want to push out of her comfort zone to ask for help. But when I pressed her and she said, yeah, I know I should have asked you. I know I should have. I said, okay. I said, so we're going to get together this weekend and do some training this weekend on some areas that you showed that you need improvement from the race that you ran. And that's the nice thing about athletics is you get these events, whether it's races or games or, scrimmages or, whatever it is that you get, tournaments, depending on whatever you play, whatever sport it is, where you get these opportunities along the way to see, like, oh, did I really understand that play? Did I really understand? Am I really in shape? All of those things. And so you get those gauges along the way. And in other parts of life, we don't necessarily get those. And so that's why it's important to ask other people for help and ask other people along the way. You get that in school, right? You get quizzes along the way before you get to your final exam. So you can see, like, am I learning the information? Am I understanding what's going on? And if you need help, who do you ask? You ask your teacher or you ask a tutor, right? It's the same way in life. When we need help, we need to ask somebody who's been there. We need to ask somebody who, and I say elder may not necessarily be somebody who's older than you, but somebody who is more experienced in that field. They may be younger than you, but if they got 14 or 25 or 30 years experience in that field, it's a voice you need to listen to, right? And so that's a life lesson for today. Don't be afraid to ask for help. We often find ourselves needing help. We have sleepless nights because we won't ask for help because we're trying to figure out the solution on our own. Don't be afraid to ask for help. People out there want to help you. Like I said, sometimes you may have to pay for it, and that's okay. Because you know what? Paying for it and getting a full night's sleep and being able to get there quicker, it's definitely worth it. So that's a life lesson for today. Hope you all have a great weekend. Pray for rain. It's supposed to rain here in Central Texas starting this weekend. That's what they say. So hopefully it'll actually happen because we need it. And we will talk to y'all on Monday with the second edition of Monday Matters.